Hello everyone and welcome to the next video that I got going on my YouTube channel. So today I wanted to do a video showcasing my Line 6 Helix presets that I have available on my website. Recently I decided to make some updates to the cabs and to the drives and just a few things like that. But I also released something on my Instagram that probably some of you have seen, and here on YouTube as well, with like a short of the shuffle looper on the Line 6 Helix that has like this Chase Bliss mood style feel to it. I have three presets today that I want to show you. One with the stock cabs, one with IRs, and one with the mood setting. And again, if you like anything you hear, the preset will be available. I'll put the link in the description. It's all available on my website. It's all free, so you can go on there and download them and use them. And if you like them, let me know. And hit me a DM on Instagram or anything like that. So before we get started, I want to let you know this is the guitar I'll be using for most of the video. It is a Schecter PT Fastback 2 and is one of my main guitars. You see it in probably all the stuff on the channel. For the most part, this is the only guitar I've been playing. It is loaded with Lambertone cremas in both positions. It's just a phenomenal guitar. If you want a budget, you know, worship-ish like Telly, humbucker, Bigsby guitar, this is the guitar for you. All right, so that's enough of me talking. Let's get into some sounds. Okay, so here is the preset in snapshot mode. I am on snapshot 5, which is the dry, and here is our bass clean tone. Alright, so let's jump over to the foot switch mode. We're going to start with the overdrives here. I changed it up just a little bit. We have the Timmy, the Klon, and the Tube Screamer. Before it used to be the Prince of Tone and the Tube Screamer here. But we switched the order. I changed the order in the block as well. Now everything is feeding into the Timmy. It's more like boosting the Timmy. And this Tube Screamer is actually the pillars block in there, which just sounds really good. So I'm going to show you the Timmy and we're going to go through some of these drives here. Let's go to the Klon here. And then let's go to the Tube Screamer. There's something, typically you can stack these in any order, so it's really just personal preference. It's kind of how I use my pedal board, where you see a lot of my drives, they're not in any specific like step on order. It's just how I'm feeling. So if I want a Timmy and a Klon, I'll step on it, you know, the Timmy and the Klon. But if I want the boosted Timmy with the Tube Screamer, so on and so forth. So it gives you a little bit of flexibility and not having to be like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So you can have different sounds for different songs. So I'm going to stack these two here. Here, let's stack on this Tube Screamer. Let's kick on all three of these things and see how hairy you can get. As you can see, it gets pretty dirty. The rest of the main setup is pretty much similar. So I'm probably going to link the other video up here in the top right hand corner. If I can figure out how to do it, it will be there. I'm still new to this. So if you're subscribing to me, you're getting the best of me, of who I am and what I'm about. It'll show the preset of this preset before 2.0, which is pretty much a similar layout as far as overdrives, because I did tweak the overdrives, I tweaked the cabs, I tweaked the amps, but the layout is pretty much the same. So this is the delay plus minus, the reverb plus minus. Basically, because this is a worship pedal board, like I run my worship pedal board, I don't ever really turn off my reverb or my delay because we're in CCM mode at my church. So a lot of the gospel stuff that you would normally play, I don't typically play. So I don't need to turn off like delays and verbs because it just needs to sound like this all the time. So this is normal. Let's go here. This is normal delay and normal verb. I run a quarter analog delay into a dotted eighth delay. So it gives you that stereo panning effect where one's on the right and one's on the left and they bounce back and forth and cascade. I got that idea from Andy Timmons, and when I watch a lot of his stuff and when he was using two timelines, and even with the new Halo pedal, it has that same stereo width and just delays cascading on each other, and I just really love that sound. So this is same kind of concept I used on my regular pedal board with my timeline and my HX Stomp on there, where I run delays into each other. So these two are kind of just your normal delay, and if you want to switch the time signature, you would go to the snapshot here, go to the eighth delay, and it will change these two delays to compensate for the eighth delay. And then you can go to quarter as well, and it'll change those to quarter to compensate for the quarter delay. Now the same thing here is it's just bigger and smaller reverb. So this is delay. It's a little bit bigger. And then it's smaller. Same thing for the reverb here. It's very simple. It can get you the bigger and smaller, reverb without having to turn on another reverb or using snapshots to turn on reverb and the delay. And then sometimes when you use snapshots, I don't like that there's no like trails. So like you can hear the delay or the reverb like just instantly go and cut right out. So this is an easy way. It just changes the parameters of, say, this reverb here to slightly bigger, slightly normal, or smaller, or whatever your preference is. You can always go in and adjust the settings there to your personal preferences. These are the same here. We've got our typical chorus. And then the retro reel for the vibrato. This vibrato with a retro reel, I like to use on lines in just ambient moments. It just adds something that wasn't there before. So here's without it. And then obviously your worship pedal board cannot be complete without a POG pedal. Let's do a little upper room POG lead here that is good for showcasing the POG. This is a quarter note memory man delay, and it's not really the memory man that's inside of the Helix, just because the repeats on the memory man are, I mean, it's obviously more like the authentic memory man. It's just short, they're not very long, so this is just a big modulated delay. And then this is a bigger reverb that you can see here. It's labeled cloud, but it is just a bright ambient style reverb that's on this preset. So we have one more block. It is a hidden block that is not available to be pressed on here. There's actually a tremolo on expression 1. So you have to press down the foot switch here, and as you pull back, it actually engages the tremolo here. So as you can see, we're in expression 1. And now as soon as we start to roll back, it will engage that preset. But I also have, as you roll back, the speed of the tremolo slows down. And then when you roll back forward, the speed of the tremolo rolls back up. So it gives you the ability to kind of control the tremolo. And if you like that ramping tremolo effect, you can do it at your feet. And then as soon as you go back to about 99%, it shuts off, and then you can push back to expression 2 and it'll go back to your normal volume. So now we are in snapshot mode. There was a few things that have changed just a little bit. You still have your dotted eighth, your eighth, and your quarter here for your time signatures. Now there's a dedicated dry switch over here. So if you ever just need dry effects, you just go over here, grab that snapshot. Then we have RM dotted eighth and RM quarter. I did this because there's been times that I'm using the Helix and maybe I'm on rhythm or I'm switching to rhythm while the other electric guitarist is on lead. I can grab with this right here and it pulls back some of the delay in the verb. So it just is a little more user friendly in a rhythm like guitarist mode. It's a shorter reverb and a shorter delay so that it doesn't get into the way with the other guitarists, and you don't have to switch to another preset to be able to do rhythm tones. So you've got rhythm dotted eighth and rhythm quarter for your main two typical time signatures there. And then these two are just swells. Like if you like having swell snapshots, these are for you. right, so let's jump over to our AG ProMatch IR preset. Everything is almost the same. All of the blocks are the same. I did tweak some of the blocks in the EQ for the IRs because obviously they sound a little bit different than the stock cabs, but the idea is still the same. The IRs that I'm using and I recommend are the Tone Factor Chimera, Benson Chimera 212. This is the 545 3 enhanced. For the matchless amp here, I use the Tone Factor JMI 212 100 watt blue 545 3 enhanced. So if you have those IRs, I suggest you drop those in there and try it out. If you don't have those IRs, go buy them. Or if you have other IRs you want to try, just throw them in there and see what it sounds like. So let's jump over to the AG Mood preset. There's just a couple differences because I had to fit the mood or the Line 6 shuffle looper. I had to fit that block here. I took up a little bit more DSP, so I had to kick off an overdrive. I also, because it takes up a foot switch as well, I figured the best one to take off would be an overdrives because this is more of an ambient driven pad. This is more of an ambient driven patch. I figured 2 overdrives is more than enough. So, but I also switched out this reverb for the particle verb. It just gives you more of an ambient and pad-like feel instead of more of a shimmery and stuff like that. I think it's better if I show you than me try to explain it. So let's get into this preset here. And that is the Line 6 shuffle looper there. It takes what you recorded into it and it puts it forwards, backwards, slices it up. It just depends on the settings you have inside of the block. And I like to go in and say, like if I had the Chase Bliss mood here, I would go in and start tweaking knobs and just making it sound different. But you can also do the same here. It's a little more complicated just because there's pages of stuff to adjust, but it's still the same concept. So what I like to do is take the slices here and I can slow it down. Or if you do it more, it'll add the slices and make it more choppy. Then you can mess with the other things like the repeat and the pitch, just to make it to affect more things. And the sequence differential, bump that up there, bump the playback level. If you wanted to get real choppy, pull the smoothing down so you can hear a lot more of the drops and cuts. And it's just fun to mess with. And then you can also always play over the top. want to add, say that's a little too choppy, and you wanted to add some delay and verb to it because it's the delay and verb is after it, you could turn on this particle verb and this memory man here. And then when you're done with it, you hold it to turn it off. And it fades away. I know you heard some of this particle verb here that I kicked on before, and you could just kind of hear the ambience that it adds. This is a legacy effects. I actually had the Line 6 M9 specifically for the particle verb, 10, 15 years ago now. So this is not a new school reverb. It's been in there for years, and I think it's just a cool sounding. There's just not many things that sound like this even now. So I think it's super cool to have in there just for like an ambient texture. That's something different. I actually have a particle verb on my HX Stomp on my big board that I kick on for this very thing. So I think it's just different, and I like being different sometimes. Well, that's going to wrap up this video for today. I hope that you like the tones or the sounds, and I hope maybe it inspired you to, pull your Helix out or whatever model you have and just experiment with things, because that's my ultimate goal for anything that I'm doing or I'm releasing. I just want to inspire other people, other electric guitarists, worship musicians, to just think outside of the box, to not be confounded in the constant of having to play what's on the album and having the same effects or the same sound. Just to be, even if it's just a little different, maybe you're adding a chorus or adding a vibrato or a pog or just something a little bit different to make it you. And that's what I like to do. I like to change things just a little bit so that it makes the part me, and it's not me trying to cover the part. Again, you can go in the description right now and click the link and download any of the presets. Well, actually, you can download the pack. The entire pack is free. It'll give you all three of these. So you can, if you want to use the stock cabs, or you want to use the IRs, or you just want it so that you can have something at home for the ambient stuff just to play over the top of, it's all free. I have other things on there for HX Stomp. I have Pod Go presets on there. I'm going to be updating the Pod Go presets soon. So I know they have the new 2.0 captures, or whatever not captures, excuse me. They have the cabs, the new 2.0 cabs. So I'm going to be updating my preset for that soon. But you can go on there and download any of it. I have, if your church is trying to learn the number system as well, I have a worship number system chart that is on there as well that we use at my church personally. We have it in every musician spot. We laminated it and stuck it in every spot. It's all for the major keys, no flats, because this is a CCM. We are a typical CCM thing, and we don't play in sharps or flats pretty much. So you can flame me in the comments if you want. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? So, but you can go on my website. You can download the presets for HX Stomp, for Pod Go, for Helix, and the worship number system chart that I like to call it. It's all on there for free. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you consider liking this video or subscribing to my channel if you want to see more stuff like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.